Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nest. I'm your host, Chili Charlie Habari Ghani. Uh, Wanted to bring in the new year and give you an update. Here at the Nest, we give you all the relevant news to the Black community. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to give you. Before we get started, though, if you haven't already, want you to go ahead, see that button down there, says subscribe, hit that button for us, like, send us a comment, you can hashtag Habari Ghani because it's Kwanzaa, you can hashtag Phoenix Paradigm, hashtag, well, you don't have to hashtag, just throw something in there to show your support, send us a message and let us know that you out there listening and that what we're sending out to you, the news we're sending out to you resonates. If you do have anything that you want us to tackle in the future, uh, right here, there's a link. You can go down there, submit a tip or a lead. We'll get on that, do some research, and then, you can have an episode that's dedicated to that topic of interest that you wanted us to investigate. All right? Okay, cool. So today, we're going to get started, like I said, new year, but there's some messages throughout the past month and whatnot that we wanted to bring out to you and just give you a heads up of what's going on that's relevant. And first up that we've got is the Israel-Hamas War. So recently as of today, there was a drone strike in Beirut, Lebanon, which resulted in the death of the number 2 political official of Hamas. Salah Arori, I believe is his name. The conflict spread over into Lebanon and suggests a significant escalation in the war and potentially some retaliation that could come from Lebanon's Hezbollah. So it's a wider conflict. Well, it's indicative of a wider growing conflict in the Middle East, as Israel's military spokesman says they are ready for any scenario. So as of today, the Palestinian casualties are numbered over 21,000 people, which is atrocious. Yeah, pretty atrocious. So, in a similar regard, we've got South Africa, filing a genocide claim against Israel. So South Africa brought a genocide claim to to the UN's International Court of Justice, aka the World Court, against Israel for their ongoing campaign in Gaza. Back in November 21st, South Africa had closed the Israeli embassy and also suspended diplomatic relations with Israel to protest the ongoing war. Now, South Africa's filing against Israel for genocide includes a request for the court to urgently issue legal binding interim orders for Israel to immediately suspend its military operations in and against Gaza, declaring that Israel is in breach of obligations that were defined by the Treaty of the 1948 Genocide Convention. Pretty much After World War II, it was a convention against where they documented that certain acts of war could lead to genocide, and that Israel's in breach of that. So for decades, South Africans have backed the Palestinians, and they've likened the plight of the Palestinians to the black majority in South Africa during the apartheid era. So that's what's going on in South Africa in relation to the war. Meanwhile, in the States, our community, the black community, has increasingly voiced support for the Palestinians in Gaza and in the West Bank, finding that as a community, there are a lot of commonalities in our mutual struggle for racial equality and civil rights, where we fight police brutality, structural racism, and redlining, things of that nature. It's very similar to what the Palestinians are going through. Largely, our community has denounced the U.S. backing of Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory, saying that the United States is too supportive of Israel. So, historically as well, this has been going on. We've had many civil rights leaders who backed the Palestinians, leaders like Malcolm X, like Kwame Ture, Angela Davis, and many others. And so there's also been an increase in the amount of Black people who are protesting and demonstrating for support of the Palestinians' right to self-determination. So again, similar cases to what our people go through and what's going on in Gaza is the Israeli administrative detention policy, where detainees are held without trial. And this echoes the alarming comparisons to the U.S. prison system, where Black people are jailed at 4 times the rate of white people, and often for low-level offenses. And more than 2/3 of jail detainees in the United States have not been convicted of a crime, according to the studies of the U.S. judicial system. Completely outrageous. But on to more positive stories. So we've got some history being made over in Philadelphia. Miss Cheryl Parker was today, or on the 2nd, was sworn in as Philadelphia's 100th mayor. If that wasn't big enough, at 51, the Democratic mayor is the first woman mayor of Philadelphia. So that's like a 2-for-1. We don't kill birds over here because we're the Phoenix paradigm, but you know what I'm saying. So she promises to make Philadelphia the safest, cleanest, greenest big city in the nation that will provide access to economic opportunities for all. Pretty big claim. Hope that she sticks to it. Would be great to see her do this, help clean up Philadelphia. She's also promised that within the first 100 days, she's planning to announce a plan to increase the number of Philadelphia officers in the streets. And they are to be acting as guardians and not warriors. Again, lofty ideals, would love them come to fruition. see a decrease in police brutality. We were just talking about it. So, if she can live up to it, and we're hoping that she does, that would be great. She also saying that there will be a well-trained force that engages with the community along with mental health and behavioral support. So she also is planning, Mayor Parker, rather, is planning to eliminate barriers for city jobs, such as requiring a college degree, among others. And she also intends to keep school buildings open longer. And then what we got for our final story of the evening is what's going on in Baltimore. So the police department in Baltimore is requiring all members to complete a program on emotional regulation. This is in order to address mental health challenges among officers, as well as to prevent negative interactions with the public. The unconventional training is to earn public trust, especially following the death of Freddie Gray in 2015. So the untimely, and some would say the murder of Freddie Gray in 2015 led to a 2017 federal consent decree, and this new training is a response to that. So in 2017, the Baltimore PD was investigated for patterns and practices of unconstitutional policing, and the new training is one of the requirements that Baltimore's police department must complete. So everybody's gotta do this before the federal oversight can be removed. Now, whether or not this is the only requirement that they have that they got to go through is to be determined. They could come up with more requirements, things like that, that'll help foster, better feeling, better public unity. You know what I mean? Like it's to be determined, but it's one of the things that they're putting an effort in order to make things better down there, which is great. So hoping to see great changes in Baltimore, and as far as policing goes and everything, to foster that, so we don't want to see any more unnecessary killings and all that tension between police and black people. We don't really trust them, but show us something different. So yeah. Aside from that, again, before we get out of here, I want to thank you all for taking time out to hear what's going on in the news. Serves you. I'm here to serve you, so I'm glad that you took some time out to listen to the message. Again, let me remind you that if you want us to follow any stories or do some research and bring some little known topics that are going on in the community, you can, the link just went by, but you can pause, scroll back, send a message on there and check it out, do some research, probably make a whole episode for that, or at least feature it in an episode. No shaking. Excuse me. And then, if you are inclined to become a sponsor. We would welcome your support. You can send me an email down there, and we will feature you on one of the episodes and give you a shout out for your business. And thank you for your support in advance. You'll also be given an entry into our Black Business Directory, which we are constantly growing. If you want to add an entry to our Black Business Directory, this is the link right here. You can go on there, read about it, enter. We're hoping to build the biggest Black owned business directory online. So we would love your support. We would love you to add an entry so that we can champion your business and the products and services that you've got going on and bring it to the public. We're trying to foster that community feeling and reinvigorate, bring back the Black Wall Street. But update it. Everything's online now, so we're creating that directory for you all. Show you support. Show us support. Show us support by sending us subscribing. Send us a like, a comment. We would appreciate it. I read them all, so it's down below. You can do that. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to stall too much for time. Appreciate you all for chiming in here at The Nest by the Phoenix Paradigm. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care now.